Election night is over, but Tuesday night's results are still causing discussion and debates across the country. Coming up, we'll have a look at some of the results most watched by the Texas Tech community, and Kiley Phillips will have a special post-presidential election edition of MCTV's Inside the Issues.
Some unique cultural traditions were on display this week across the Texas Tech campus as several university groups invited special guests to campus. Find out how the Red Raider community could enjoy some special musical performances while also having a chance to experience two cultures from different sides of the world.
And fans packed the United Supermarkets arena this week to cheer on the official start of basketball season. MCTV Sports' Todd Eldridge has the details on both the Red and Lady Raiders debut and how you can catch them in action again before the weekend.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Madilyn Coyne.
And I'm Maresa Sisk. Just 2 days ago, one of the most historic election nights in U.S. history led to many changes across the country, including the announcement of a new leader for the United States.
More than 140 million people voted in this year's presidential election, including 125,000 Lubbock County residents. Here on the Texas Tech campus, the sub served as the on-campus polling location on Election Day. Hundreds of members of the university community stopped by the Red Raider Ballroom to cast their ballot and have their voice heard on national, state, and local races. All Lubbock County polling sites, including the sub, were open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, but anyone who was in line at 7 p.m. was given the chance to vote, no matter how long it took for them to get to a voting booth. Overall, about 63% of registered voters in Lubbock County participated in this year's election. Locally, the biggest issue on the ballot was Proposition A, which gave Lubbock residents the chance to vote for or against the funding of a new city street bond. The proposition gained a lot of local attention because it only included 7 specific road construction projects, with most of those projects excluding the central and northern parts of the city. The bond ended up passing with 53% of the vote. Statewide, the most publicized race for Texans was to decide on the state's U.S. Senate seats. Republican incumbent Ted Cruz and Democratic candidate Colin Allred engaged in a heated battle for the seat. Pre-election polls predicted a very tight race, but at the end of Tuesday night, Senator Ted Cruz easily retained his seat with 53.1% of voters deciding to extend his stay to a third term. Cruz will have served a total of 18 years as senator when he is next up for election in 2030.
Regardless of the importance of state and local races, all eyes across the country were focused on one race, for the next president of the United States.
Many students stayed up into the early hours of Wednesday morning to find out who would be the country's next leader, including our own Kiley Phillips. Kiley joins us now with details and a wrap-up of one of the most historic elections of the century so far in today's edition of MCTV's Inside the Issues. Kiley?
Thanks, Madilyn and Maresa. Former President Donald Trump will be the 47th President of the United States. An unpredicted red wave hit the United States on Tuesday, with the Republican nominee winning both the popular vote and the Electoral College. He won the popular vote by more than 4.6 million votes as of the most recent data. While Arizona and Nevada have not officially released their votes, Trump is leading by over 2% in both states, and they are predicted to go Republican as well. He currently has well over the 270 majority of electoral votes, with 295 electoral votes. Former President Trump won 29 states and 1 vote in Maine. After calling Pennsylvania's result late Tuesday night, the former president gave an acceptance speech. The president-elect came out around 2:30 a.m. and vowed to lead the golden age of America after launching what he referred to as the greatest political movement of all time.
And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
The speech also featured key campaign figures and political cabinet members for the president-elect, including Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Vivek Ramaswamy. Trump hinted at what this administration would look like and said he will not let the American public down.
We're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible.
Former President Trump will be the second ever president in history to be elected for 2 non-consecutive terms. The last time was in 1885 and 1893 with President Grover Cleveland. Vice President Kamala Harris called former President Trump yesterday morning to congratulate him on his victory. The Vice President said that she and President Biden will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. The night before, the Harris-Walz campaign had chosen to pack it up and shut down their watch party after Trump took 267 electoral college votes. Harris made a speech at Howard University yesterday. She said that the outcome was not what they wanted, but she will never give up fighting for the future she wants for America.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place.
She said that a fundamental part of American democracy is accepting the results after losing an election. The election season has come to a close, and that brings about a variety of emotions, from the excitement and patriotism of the win to the heartbreak and fear that comes with a loss. Our country is in a state of divide. No matter who you voted for, at the end of the day, we are all American, and every day we live, work, and share this incredible country. Both parties are trying to do what they see best for the country, and while they may disagree, in the end, everyone wants a future that we can be proud of and that future generations can be proud of. As we move forward through these next stages, be kind to your neighbors, show love and compassion for both sides of the aisle. At the end of the day, we are all Americans and we are all actively a part of the journey of this country. The election season will eventually end, but how we treat our fellow Americans will be everlasting. Politics is more than just casting your vote. It's about how you treat people through all stages of the political process. That was a look inside of your post-election issues. I'll see you next Thursday. I'm Kiley Phillips. Back to you, Maresa.
Thanks, Kiley. In other news, members of several Native American tribes stopped by the Texas Tech campus last night to help educate the university community about a not-so-well-known part of their culture. The TTU Humanities Center took over the Red Raider Ballroom on Wednesday evening for a Southern Plains handgame exhibition. The center welcomed representatives from the Comanche Nation and Kiowa, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes to help explore the role of traditions and songs in Native American pastimes. The Native Americans talked about the history of games played by their tribes and how they have worked to pass the concepts on from generation to generation. They also talked about the importance of music in each hand game and gave demonstrations of the songs as they played exhibition matches in the ballroom. The tribes each competed against each other, demonstrating their unique traditions. Yesterday's event was co-sponsored by several groups, including the TTU Vernacular Music Center and the Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Social Work.
Last night's hand game exhibition wasn't the only event on the Vernacular Music Center's calendar this week. The group also showcased 2 distinguished musicians during the second of 2 performances by the Caprock English Bagpipe Consort. On Monday, a bagpipe consort took place at the Kent R. Hance Chapel. The performance featured the Caprock English Bagpipe Consort, the only ensemble of its type in North America. The group performs, arranges, and composes music for an ensemble of English border bagpipes. This year, two special guests joined them on stage, Alex Bartholomew and Mike McNinch, both from the northeastern U.S. Bartholomew and McNinch have been playing together since 2010 and joined the rest of the consort for Monday's performance. Director Roger Lands founded the CEBC in 2017 with two grad students. The ensemble consists of two Texas Tech alumni and two faculty members.
I founded it. Yeah, I'm a faculty member of the School of Music, and I've been playing folk music all my life of various kinds. I've done different kinds of bagpipes previously, and about 12 years ago I got into this particular style of bagpipe and found some students who were interested, and so they got some instruments and we started going.
Monday's event ended the special guest residence here at Texas Tech. Bartholomew and McNinch arrived on campus on Friday and also headlined a Breton dance on Sunday evening in the Sub Ballroom. The next performance by the Caprock English Bagpipe Consort will be held in the spring semester on March 10th, also known as National Bagpipe Day.
Some idealistic Red Raiders are working to make their dreams a reality during an annual competition, and you have a chance to help determine this year's winner. The 2024 edition of the Red Raider Idea Competition is currently underway here at Texas Tech. The annual event gives entrepreneurs from here on campus and the local community the chance to pitch the next big idea for a chance to win $2,000. Competitors create a 60-second video explaining their idea, and then the video is uploaded to the competition website, hosted by the TTU Innovation Hub. From there, the entire Texas Tech community is invited to view the videos and vote for their favorite idea. The video that receives the most votes will be named this year's winner and awarded the cash prize later this month. This year's submissions include a wide variety of concepts, from Stellar, an AI platform to help people navigate emotions, to Spookums, pumpkins that are grown in mold shapes like classic horror movie characters. If you would like to check out all of this year's submissions and cast your vote for your favorite, visit innovationhub.ttu.edu and click on Red Raider Idea Competition under the Startup Program and Events tab.
Following last weekend's soggy weather, sunshine returned to the South Plains, but not for long.
Rain returned to the Texas Tech campus this morning, but does that mean another wet weekend is on the way? Chief Weather Specialist Elisabeth Herring joins us now in the studio to let you know if you need to keep your umbrella handy in today's MCTV forecast. Elizabeth?
Well, the fall ambiance is very strong this afternoon. It's been chillier today, as well as drizzly and rainy. That began early this morning around 6 a.m. A system moving throughout the South Plains, calming down as we've headed into this afternoon. It hasn't made that much of an impact on our 24-hour rainfall totals, up to half an inch across the South Plains area. Some places seeing half an inch here in Lubbock, Rawls. Few places seeing up to 2 inches. However, our best chance for rain is going to be later tonight, early Friday morning, around 12 a.m. Chances for thunderstorms continuing on into early morning hours and starting to fizzle out as we head into Friday evening and into Saturday afternoon, just in time for the weekend and for the Saturday football game. Well, lows across the South Plains tonight varying off the Caprock, only getting into the upper 50s tonight. Snyder 58, Spur 56, Jayden 59. Cooler up north, Freona 38 tonight, so dipping right below 40. Demet 40, Plainview 44, and Turkey 49. Central South Plains in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, temperatures only warming up about 5 degrees from the lows to the highs, so staying relatively the same as we look across the South Plains area. Off the Caprock, 60, Spur 60, Jayden 62, Snyder 63. Up in the northern areas, cooler, Freona 42 tomorrow, so y'all better bundle up. Demet 43, Plainview 47. Central South Plains hanging out in the mid to upper 50s. As we look tonight here locally in Lubbock, low of 50 degrees and raining tonight as well. Tomorrow, AM showers as you head to class, unfortunately, so umbrella, rain jacket, whatever you may need, and wind of 20 miles per hour tomorrow, so just keep that in mind. It might make temperatures feel just a little bit cooler. As we look at our 3-day, heading for a gorgeous weekend, Saturday Saturday, high of 66. Sunday, high of 70, continuing those 70-degree temperatures as we head into next week. Monday, high of 70. Tuesday, 75. Back in the 60s Wednesday and Thursday with 66-degree temperatures both days. Lows next week in the lower 40s, and we may even see some upper 30s as we head into later next week. Well, Saturday is a home football game for Texas Tech against Colorado. Starts at 3 p.m. Start of that game going to be 65 degrees. Halftime staying relatively the same, around 64 degrees. And end of game 57. And that sun will most likely set in the last part of the game, especially since we recently had the time change. So it may feel really nice at the beginning of the game. I would recommend bringing a jacket with you as the sun goes down. It is going to get much cooler. I'm Elizabeth, and it's back to y'all.
Thanks, Elizabeth. 1 week ago today, the Texas Tech campus celebrated Halloween. While many students dressed up in costume and engaged in spooky fun, a select group of Red Raiders decided to test their skills in a once-a-year competition.
The event featured water, swimsuits, and giant inflatables. If that sounds like your definition of fun, MCTV's Caitlin Rudolph has a look at what you could be doing next Halloween.
Last Thursday, the Rec Center held Wicked Wipeout for Halloween, an annual flash event that's part of their intramural sports.
I'm with intramural sports, and basically we just provide a community where everyone can play, everyone's welcome to join. We do flash events like Wicked Wipeout where anyone is welcome to come and just have fun.
Casey Northam is a member of the intramural sports committee. She gave up part of her Halloween night to be in charge of the score and leaderboards for the fun event.
Here with Wicked Wipeout, we've had it for 3 years. This is our 3rd year. It's been really successful, so we're glad to have some students come out and try their luck at the obstacle course.
Eduardo Santana got one of the faster times of the night at 24.9 seconds. He went out to have a good time and didn't expect to be one of the top finishers of the night.
Fun. I got to meet friends that I already knew and meet new people, and just actually going through a course like that, I never did it, just watch it on TV, and it's like, oh, actually, it's a lot bigger than it looks, and then you start going through it, it's like slippery, and you're just trying to get a grip and balance, and then after like the practice run, I was like, okay, I have a strategy. It mostly involved like trying to be as low to the ground as possible to not slip and not fall in the water.
If you think a giant inflatable obstacle course sounds like fun, keep an eye out for it next Halloween. In the meantime, if you're interested in learning more about intramural sports and seeing what events they offer, you can go to urec.ttu.edu and click on Sports Programs under the Programs tabs. For MCTV, I'm Caitlin Rudolph.
As we mentioned earlier, election night may have filled up many students' schedules earlier this week. But other members of the Red Raider fan base decided to take their mind off the issues and help cheer on the return of a popular team.
MCTV's Todd Eldridge joins us in studio with details on the beginning of the season for a couple of Texas Tech's top sports teams, along with a rundown of the upcoming Tech athletic schedule in sports. Todd?
Thanks, Maresa and Madilyn. Basketball is back. The Red Raiders and Lady Raiders hit the hardwood this week in 2 back-to-back nights of action at the United Supermarkets Arena to start off the season. The women were up first on the court on Monday night, knocking off Incarnate Word 78-48. Junior transfer Adalie Blacklock made her debut at the USA, leading the team with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Returning junior Jasmine Shavers was next in line with 13 points, followed by fellow 2024 Big 12 honorable mention standout Bailey Maupin, who had 12. Tech put up 45 of their 78 points in the first half while holding the Cardinals to 17 points in the first 2 quarters. The second half was a different story, but head coach Krista Gerlich says that the team is still a work in progress.
We played a lot of kids. And I wanted to play a lot of kids early in these early games and get some rotations down, and it's going to take me a little bit to figure out the rotations. But I thought overall, obviously, you know, a 30-point win on opening night is a good day.
The Red Raiders were up next at the USA, taking on Bethune-Cookman on Tuesday. The team continued their streak of season-opening wins, stretching their record to 25 after taking down the Wildcats in a 94-61 victory. But that's not the only mark in the history book from the game. Tech also knocked down 16 three-pointers to match the program record. Kerwin Walton led the charge, making 7 threes, which accounted for all 21 of his points. The arena was packed, and head coach Grant McCaslin says the atmosphere contributed to a great opening of an historic season.
What a great start to the season. Just a phenomenal crowd. Students were awesome. It's always fun to be back in the USA and the 100th basketball season of Texas Tech athletics, man. So cool.
The Lady Raiders return to action tonight at 6 at the USA against Houston Christian, and the men hit the court on Friday in a matchup against Northwestern State at 8. Both games will also be on ESPN+. Red Raider soccer extended their stay in Kansas City with a win over 10th seed Baylor on Saturday in the second round of the Big 12 championships. Tech resumed play last night in the semifinals, with only Kansas standing in their way of returning to the championship game for the first time in almost 10 years. Yesterday's showdown was the first time the Red Raiders had faced the Jayhawks since the 2022 season. Tech defeated KU in that previous matchup, but Wednesday's semifinal was a different story. The game remained scoreless until the 40th minute when the Jayhawks knocked in the first goal. 9 minutes later, Kansas's Olivia Page put the Red Raiders down by 2. Finally, in the 63rd minute, Ashley Williams put Tech's first and only score on the board, but that's all the Red Raiders could manage as they failed to reach the Big 12 finals. Number 17 Texas Tech now has to wait until Monday for the NCAA tournament selection show to find out where they'll end up in the postseason. The show will be streamed live at 3 p.m. on ncaa.com. Tech volleyball was also in action last night, meeting up with the 17th-ranked Baylor Bears in the United Supermarkets Arena. Tech's last outing resulted in a 3-game sweep of UCF, but unfortunately, the Bears gave Tech a taste of their own medicine. Baylor defeated the Red Raiders by close to 10 points in the first 2 sets, but Tech made it interesting in the final frame, losing by just 2. But in the end, Baylor came out with a sweep, dropping Tech's conference record to 4-8. Next up, volleyball continues their tour of the Big 12 in the first of 2 contests with Houston before the end of the season. The Red Raiders and Cougars meet up for their first showdown starting in H-Town on Saturday at 2 p.m. 2 weeks ago, the Texas Tech fan base was calling for changes after the football team fumbled their chance at a victory against rival TCU. Less than 2 weeks later, the Red Raider faithful are now believing in miracles following an unlikely win and the announcement of a rare visit by one of the nation's most popular pregame shows. Tech football will take on number 21 ranked Colorado this weekend at Jones AT&T Stadium, but before they do, the university will be on national display as Fox's Big Noon kickoff takes over the green space across the street from the Dan Law Field. The Fox setup crew will be in town tomorrow, converting the student tailgating area into a broadcast studio, complete with a stage, sports desk, lighting, cameras, and plenty of room for Red Raider fans to enjoy the show. The broadcast runs from 9 to 11 a.m. and students are encouraged to dress up in their game day gear, bring homemade signs, and show up early to get a good spot to be on national TV. Once the televised extravaganza ends, the attention will turn across the Commuter North parking lot, where the Jones will welcome Deion Sanders and the CU Buffaloes for the first time since 2007. A win would put the Red Raiders back into the top 3 spots of the Big 12 standings, and another loss by Iowa State could leave Tech all alone in second place. Head coach Joey McGuire says the team is ready for the challenge.
You know, said it at the start of the year. It's really important for us to play meaningful games in November. We took a step back and didn't think that we would be able to do that after back-to-back losses, and we turned around and won a great game, a great team win on Saturday, and it put us right back in the mix. So got an opportunity. We've got to make the most of it.
Saturday's game will also mark the official debut of the Patrick Mahomes strategy uniform, which was announced last month. Mahomes' partnership with Adidas and the university isn't just about making the players look good on the field, it's also a history-making moment as an athlete's personal brand shows up on official on-field gear. The partnership continues Mahomes' strong relationship with the team and will hopefully pay off in an upset at the Jones. I'm Todd, your resident non-trad sports nut, and that was everything to catch you up on Tech athletics. Back to you, Maresa and Madilyn.
Thanks, Todd. The Texas Tech campus is home to some of the best live entertainment venues in Lubbock, hosting dozens of student performances every semester.
One of the spaces that has showcased the skills of thousands of Red Raiders for almost 50 years was recently reopened after a much-needed facelift. The Himley Recital Hall takes up the east side of the music building on the back end of the sub. The recital hall was reopened last month following the completion of a $4 million renovation. The 2-year project included updates to the entire 9,000 square foot space, with most of the work focused on enhancing the facility's acoustics. The most noticeable changes include brand new wall panels and LED lighting, along with a new ceiling and sound reflectors. But the house seating was also updated and several artistic touches were added to give the recital hall a much more modern feel. Himley Recital Hall was originally opened after construction finished in the fall of 1975. It was named after Gene Himley, a former director of the Department of Music. The space received some updates in 1980s, but the facility remained mostly unchanged until the recent renovation project started in 2022.
So, Madilyn, have you had a chance to check out any of the performances at the newly remodeled recital hall?
I haven't yet, but I'm definitely going to have to for some of those comfy seats.
I highly encourage you to check it out. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.